Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Level M Diecast, bringing you one of the things that does make us Level M. Of course, that is Majorette. This is a bunch of new Deluxe stuff that's been dropping at Walmart and Target. There has been a lot of Deluxe stuff popping up lately. We're going to kind of make this a little bit exciting, I guess you can say. We'll just kind of keep them hidden until we pop them around. We'll just start with this one in the middle. So this is the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. This also comes in a Italian 5-pack. So we've talked about this a little bit before. Basically what Majorette's doing is they're just taking cars from all kinds of different areas of their range. They're throwing some rubber tires on them, giving them this pointless box, and then giving them to us here in the US. They don't run new batches like Hot Wheels and Matchbox do. That's just not the way that Majorette runs. As a matter of fact, some of the products that they make are on the shelves for years, it seems like. They just come out with new lines and new lines and new lines. So this is kind of going to be where we're going to get as far as the US is concerned, which I guess is fine, but I still would rather get stuff like 600 series trucks, transports, all that kind of stuff like that. So get that door closed on that one. Again, they just come with these ridiculously pointless boxes. I wish they would just be carded. You know, they would be definitely a better competitor to take on stuff like Car Culture, even though they'll never be to that level. But they'll be more of a competitor to Car Culture if they were just carded without the box, because the box is completely unnecessary. But there is your Alfa Romeo. This one is exceptionally nice because it is in matte white. It's really, really nice. And this red is a satin color. So it's a very, very cool contrast between the two. Of course, there's Alfa Romeo on the side. That is a zoomed in Alfa Romeo logo there. It does have a printed logo there on the front. Looks really good. Lens headlights as usual with Majorette. They do have suspension on this one. This one actually works very well because the wheels actually go into the wheel well, which is not something we get to very often with Majorette. This is a hook assembly model. So you'll see that the license plate there is actually part of the base. So it just hooks into the back, and then they rivet the front. It's a safety issue, I guess, that is why most cars are not assembled like that nowadays. But since this is considered targeting a little bit more of age audience, I guess you can say, they maybe they can get away with it. I'm not really sure. The doors do open. They are pretty stiff. There is a pretty decent interior in there. Very good detail on the door panels on the inside. Very good details on the door panels. So that looks extremely good. The doors are super stiff though. Look pretty good. And then does have nice quad exhaust there on the back. So that one is actually really, really nice. I really like that the wheels can get up in there. You could probably slam this and it would actually look pretty good. It's an idea. We'll set that guy to the side. All right, next one to take a look at. This is the GR Supra SZR. So this is pulled from, I believe, the racing line. So if you are a collector of Majorette outside the U.S., you probably got this exact model, but with just plastic tires instead of rubber tires. That's just kind of the way it is. I do have a couple of comparisons for a couple of these models when we pull them out, because I did have a couple of the regular versions. There's the box. So pull out our Supra. The Majorette Supra is not that... The casting itself is great, but the problem is that the wheels are kind of big and it sits kind of high, so it looks a little bit weird. But the casting itself looks pretty good. It does have your Toyota symbol on there. This one is decked out with Bilstein. Got Bilstein all over it. Again, the suspension in there is a big deal. These are, of course, rubber tires. They do wrap in there a little bit different. They're definitely a different design style than what you'd be common for with Hot Wheels or anything like that. So it does say Supra on the back. There is your GR logo on the bumper. Looks pretty good. This graphite gray is a pretty nice color. Pretty decent sized doors. Left-hand drive on this one. Really nice detail for the seats and stuff in there. And of course, this one has detail on the door panels as well. Not super great detail in there, but the detail's there. Looks okay. You can at least tell where the door handle is to open the car up. And then just some basic base deets. Just really nothing there. Not a whole lot of wheel travel either, because the wheels are a little bit too big. Just a little bit too big. All right, this is the Porsche Panamera Turbo, or I'm sorry, Porsche Taycan Turbo S. So this one, I do believe came in the original Porsche series, which was the Porsche Premium series, I should say. Not the Deluxe series, the Premium series, which we did not get here in the US. We did get the Deluxe series, but not the Premium series. Premium is a step down from Deluxe. That's the way that Majorette works. There is the box. So I got my blue version, the original version of this, in a kind of a playset kind of setup with a man truck with kind of a service trailer on it. I did do a video for that, so I think what I'll do is maybe I'll drop that specific video in the description. That is this model here. You can see this one just has the plastic wheels. This one on the top has the rail riders. You'll see the wheel is very, very similar to each other. But the one on the top is the rubber tires. As far as the model, though, they're the same color and all that, same details like that. So, but it's a new, different wheel. So it's a good variation to have. So the Taycan is pretty good. Does still have lensed headlights, which look good. Full print on the back. Does say Porsche. I get that to focus. I do apologize. There we go. Sorry about that. So it does say Porsche on the back, and then there's some panel details and stuff in there. We've already covered this model, so nothing fancy with it. But rubber tires, suspension, all the same old flavor as every other Majorette. Let's move on this one. So this is actually a model that I do have the original version of. So this is the Lamborghini Urus. This one in green. This one came from the racing line again, I believe. Maybe the premium line, but I think it came from the racing line. So we'll get this guy out of there. Pull the package out. There is the box art. Looks kind of like a failed promo shoot, you know. So there is our Lamborghini. Does have 63 on the side. Of course, that is pretty common for the Lamborghinis. A lot of them have that on there. This guy does have the big 5 spokes. Does have suspension again. Trailer hitch on there, so not sure how much people are towing with their Urus, but it can tow. It can tow. And then lens headlights in the front looks pretty good. A far better casting than Hot Wheels makes, for sure. This guy does have opening doors. Most Majorette cars usually have a opening or moving feature. Not always, but most of them. They do have a streetcar line, which is a little bit cheaper price point. A little bit of panel detail in there, but really not a whole lot at all. So this is the original version here on the top. Did come with those nice kind of swirl 5 spokes. I do like that basic wheel. I think that basic wheel looks pretty good. But it is all the same details other than that. Even the hood print and stuff is on there. Definitely going to be differences in the quality of prints. And then just base details here. The rail rider one there on the bottom versus the plastic wheel one on the top. So this is one good thing that Majorette does is their rail riders look very close to their plastic wheels. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's a thing. It's a thing. All right, before we get to those two, because once I pull this model, it's pretty obvious what the other one is. I have a couple of Japan version Majorette. These were picked up by my buddy Nick for me. He recently went to Japan. We've done a couple of these Kabaya Majorette releases before. This particular one in this metallic red has been released before. However, it was released without a top. So this one has the topper on it. So that works out for me because that is considered variation, or at least I consider it variation. These Kabaya models do come with a piece of gum in there. There is the deets on the back. Barely anything that you can read except for basically right up there. This is a German model. These are put on like these weird clip strips with Velcro. So these are actually some pretty high dollar packaging for, you know, toys, I guess you can say. So we'll pull this guy out. Again, this comes with a piece of gum. These were freshly bought like a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago maybe. So I still can't bring myself to eat this. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I don't know. I'll do it eventually. I'll eventually do it. But here is our Porsche Cayman. I think this is the 718. Oh, it's a 718 Boxster. My bad. Does have the opening top. The top just pop right off, sort of. It's got little clips on the side, so we'll get those popped real quick. Hopefully without breaking it. There we go. So there is your interior. Again, this model has been on the channel before in this color. The interior looks good. Majorette interiors look very, very good. Lens headlights, prints, all the good deets like that. Same stuff that Majorette does. I really, really like this wheel with the chrome print. It looks very, very good. So we'll get the top popped back on there. There you go. Really, really cool. Such a simple feature, but looks so good. It works out so well. And it's such a simple feature. It's just so straightforward. So we'll put that guy right there. All right, this is a brand new deco, though. This is one that we don't have. I have many of the 911 Carreras, but not the drop top with white. So this one looks especially nice. I was really happy about this one. This one is Super Sports Model 2nd. So I'm not exactly sure what the details are as far as that's concerned, but I just wanted it because it's a Porsche. So there is the Carrera in white. Looks fantastic. Wheels look pretty good as well. Sorry about that. The details on the back look pretty good as well. Just say Porsche. It says 911 Carrera. Prints are good. There is your interior. Interior looks pretty good. Very, very detailed. Something that you would never get from Hot Wheels or Matchbox for sure. So this one looks good. Does have one moving feature in the front. The frunk opens up. Of course, it is a rear engine car, so the trunk in the front opens up. There is a little space in there. This particular piece is a little bit big and doesn't fit all that flush. It's kind of been a problem with this model its whole life. It's so obvious that it opens. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. They kind of make up for the rest of the model being so nice. Looks very, very good. 911 Carrera S. All right. So it's just going to be a dead giveaway once we get this one out. Obviously, you know that's going to be Porsche. This is the McLaren Senna. This is one that I actually have the original version 2 as well. That one actually came directly from Australia. That was from the premium car line. I did cover that on the channel at one point in time. As a matter of fact, my Australia trade box, which is just absolutely packed with Majorette. That is hopefully going to be here probably mid-January. So that is on the radar. So we are going to have an enormous amount of Majorette content in January for sure. So there is your box. It's kind of an old school style Majorette on that side. So here is the McLaren Senna. Very, very interesting that Majorette decided to do this casting. This casting, I feel like the way that Hot Wheels did it, where you're just doing just a basic static model, I think they did a great job. But then when you take somebody like Majorette, who's like, we wanted to have a moving or feature, we wanted to do something. This is a very, very difficult model to do in 1/64 scale, to have something that moves. And this does have the opening doors. So the doors open, pop up on both sides, which looks really, really good. Of course, this does have the rubber tires. Again, the model sits really high. The wheel placement's not that great. So the ground clearance is just absolutely enormous. But this one looks really, really good. This one looks really good. A little bit of print in the back. Can't even read what that silver print says, but there's a little bit of print in the back. So this is the original version that came out in the premium line. So there are quite a few differences in the prints. So if we take a look at the current one that we just got here on the top, the colors are very different. Of course, there's no print there on the bottom here for the one on the top, which is the rubber tire version. And then when you take a look at the front, the fronts are basically the same. But then when you take a look at the top, our new one there at the top does not have the black print on the door. So the original one did have black print on the door. Looks pretty good. Actually looks a lot better. This one doesn't look quite as clean or crisp or anything like that. So, but other than that, it's just a pretty straightforward model. There is the base deets. You see there's the bottom of the door. So when you push the door up, it's part of the door sill. So kudos to Majorette for taking on such a difficult model, at least in my opinion. I think it's a difficult model. All right, we do get one of these Porsches. This is absolutely picked up from Walmart. Actually, I picked this up from Target. So it's one of these 6 models. I can tell you it's not that one. I really wish it was. I really wish it was that Chrome 911 GT3 Cup. But unfortunately, it's not. However, we do have a pretty good one here. This is the 935. So we have covered one of these already from Majorette. Came in the 5-pack. Majorette, I guess, is still trying to get stuff in the US. They are working on it. So Porsche Edition. This was just directly pulled from the Porsche Edition line. There was no changes needed to this. They just pulled it right out and threw it in the US assortment. It does come with a tin collector, which actually does hold the car in it, which is, in my opinion, a far more collectible item, far more desirable, far more, you know, money worth item, because this is printed up, and it looks really good. And of course, it's metal. It says Majorette on there. Just slides open, just like that. It's a pressed metal tin. The lid slides right on the side. It's actually really, really cool. It does hold the model. So this is our Porsche 935. This is a new casting, just recently dropped this year in 2023. Majorette has been going very hard in the paint with Porsche, and I love it. I'm actually very, very happy they're doing that. This one looks fantastic. It does have a Valiant on the side, which is pretty iconic with Porsche. This one in green with some kind of a super dull gold wheels. I think that looks pretty good. Just another wheel design. We've seen quite a few wheel designs through all these models. Print on the back. It may look like there is a opening or moving feature in the back, but that does not move or anything. It's just a separate part that's added on. It's actually the rivet. So that rivet actually is held on. This piece is the rivet to hold the model together, which I think is a pretty good detail. There is the details in the front. Still has lensed headlights, which is sometimes difficult to do with something like this, but I think it looks good. And then, of course, this guy does have an opening frunk area with a little bit of detail in there for bracing and stuff. Because after all, it is a race car. Does have a very nice interior in there as well, but you can't see in there for nothing. And then just says Valiant Kramer on the top. There is your base Dietz 162 scale. It says this one is. The McLaren is 156th scale. So I forgot about doing those. I do apologize. Our Porsche 911 Carrera is 1/60th scale, so that's pretty close to where we want to be. The Porsche Boxster is 1/58th scale, so it's a little bit big compared to the Carrera. And then our Urus, we're looking at true 164, at least that's what they claim. Not really sure if that's true. Trying to picture this next to like a DCP truck or something, or even next to like an Auto World item, which I don't think would be quite there. 1/63rd scale on the Taycan. Our Supra is going to be way off. Supra is going to be way up, 156th scale, so it's a bit big for the sizing. And then the Alfa is 1/60th scale, so I do apologize about that. I remember I was going to point that out in my previous Majorette video. Now, I got one more item, and this thing is way out of left field compared to what we've been looking at. 600 series trucks. These are my absolute favorite item from Majorette. There is nothing in my collection I think is more sacred to me than my 600 series trucks, and I have a lot of them. Now, I certainly don't have all of them, nowhere near all of them, but I do have quite an extensive collection. There are a lot of variations that they came out with, prints for the tractors, plastic part colors. The ones with the helicopters had different stickers and stuff. I mean, the variations were insane. This is some of the basic core ones. Of course, you have the container truck, the flatbed, which usually came with a construction piece, a flatbed, and a helicopter. It fits both. It's the same trailer. The box truck down here, so those are both the same containers. Your double container or double tanker truck, and then your single tanker truck. They also did a double container truck as well. And then, of course, you do have a rocket truck and a firefighting apparatus as well as a crane. So they had a lot of different ones to start out. So we're going to pull this one out. This one is in extremely good condition in the box, but the model's going in as a loose piece. So we'll pull him out. It's just in a plastic tray Just sits in there, nothing fancy. There's nothing crazy about it. Very interesting that this is not yellowed. That's pretty rare. To come across something like that, that's not rare. I don't believe this has a production date or anything like that, or a copyright date on it, but this is circa mid-80s, probably like around 86 or so. There is the International, which looks fantastic. Now, this is a problem that Majorette had back in the day. You see there's a couple of chips here. That's a factory flaw that happened quite frequently. It just is what it is. You know, they were all made in France, and apparently the workers probably just didn't really care, or maybe the quality control didn't really care too much. The trailer does pop off, so we'll just go ahead and pop the trailer. There we go. So it does hook in there with a fifth wheel. There's a little piece of plastic in there. You got to be a little bit careful with those because they tend to break. They are quite often that they break. Of course, suspension. Yes, the trucks have leaf suspension on them. You can see how it works right here. See the leaf suspension there. This is Primo diecast 1/64 scale. Well, I'm sorry, these are HO scale, but this is Primo miniature scale trucks. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that made, oh, look at that. They got a factory flaw. Ooh, look at this. That model got absolutely wrecked. Look at that. Wow. The casting didn't even come together. There's a lot of chips on it. Looks like maybe it was dropped at the factory. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So I guess I'll have to keep a lookout for replacement cab for this one. But, you know, it's right out of the box. There's not a whole lot you can do. I bought it as was in the box. It's just the way it works. There is some detail on the mud flaps that looks pretty good. Again, just a really, really good model. Kind of bummer that the truck's a little bit bunk, just a little bit. There is the trailer. Of course, it does have the helicopter on there, which just snaps into these predetermined little spots here. So we'll just pop him off. He holds into these two hooks here and then those two spots right there. If you got a construction piece, they hook into these two little things here. The wheels pop open and then it keeps it from falling off. It does have a simulated kind of a winch system. So that is separate. This was later retooled to make that one piece so that it was cheaper to manufacture. And then it does have a working ramp that comes down. Triple axle on this one. Those are two-piece wheels. The hub is separate. The outside tire piece is pressed on. Again, very, very good quality. Very, very high-end stuff, especially for the day. I guess for the day it was considered normal, but nowadays this would be super premium. SOS ambulance on there. Looks super, super good. That is a sticker. So that is not print. That's a sticker. That's pretty common as well. Yellow window on this one. It does have a little piece of rubber back here. If we slide this back, you see that little piece of rubber right there. That keeps the blades from moving. So you want to hold on to that. The blades are triple. So they do pop out. They look very, very good. And then right out of the box, they rotate very, very good. Looks super good. Way better than anything you're going to get from any type of helicopter from Hot Wheels or Matchbox these days for sure. That is a metal piece in there as well. So this is mostly metal. It's got some plastic on the base. It is called the Gazelle. It's pretty cool. So you just kind of fold these up, fold the wings in, fold them. There we go. Take our little rubber piece, slide it back there, and then slide it over the exhaust. Put that back together. There we go. That way it stays together on your trailer. And then you just hook it in one side here. And then you pop it in the other side there. And then it just sits in on each side there. And holds the helicopter in there. Hook it back up to the truck. And there you go. You'll be off to the races. So that is the current Majorette haul. Pretty happy about that. I'll eat some of this gum someday. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But there you go. Nice to add some more Majorette, especially this 600 series truck. And hopefully I can find some more of these Deluxe series. They're a little bit difficult to find right now. Not a lot of stores carry Majorette. But we're going to roll out. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Level Impact Cast. Peace.